bombs, rum coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there, over there, over there. Send the word over.
Hey everybody, this is Joshua Littrell. Thank you so much for joining us here on episode 2 with Justin TURCOTTE on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast. Justin, it's been absolute pleasure with that first segment, catching up with you and your background and all the work that you've done from a contracting standpoint with the military and your dad serving, being a brat. I mean, wow, what a great story. Now we're at 2011 in Montana. They get things passed, and they're telling doctors they can only have 3 patients and they can't pay for their services. Is that correct?
Yeah, they were telling the providers at the time that's what they wanted them to do. So the cultivators, the people providing the medicine, that they could only have 3 patients, and it severely neutered the entire program. And so that resulted in a pretty lengthy legal battle, which was ultimately lost. Sometime in 2016, those restrictions went into effect. Well, luckily in 2016, the voters of Montana put forth I-182 and voted that into place, which negated the legislation called SB 423 that had restricted the program here in Montana. So I-182 was voted in, and that established the basis for the regulatory body and regulations that we have today.
Okay. Wow. So what do you have today? What does that body of enforcement look like, and what does the state's medical cannabis program look like?
So the state of Montana's medical marijuana program is still very much in its infancy on the regulation side of the house. The licensing is very inexpensive, but you have to be a resident of the state of Montana to be able to hold a license, and all of your financial interests have to be disclosed, and they have to be state of Montana residents as well.
Okay.
Along with that, there's seem to be very lax restrictions in comparison to other states, lax regulations in relation to other states. We have labeling, we have mandatory testing, we have childproof packaging requirements. There's still yet to be any serious regulations around extraction laboratories, i.e. C1D1 or C1D2 lab requirements. So there are some operators out there who are, running labs that don't have those safety measures. But so far, cross your fingers, knock on wood, we haven't had any accidents, we haven't had any explosions, and people are being as safe as they possibly can be so far.
So do you guys have to process in-house, or are you sending it out to a third party? What's the process? And then the QC on that too, from a third party analytical standpoint, do you guys send that outside of your organization as well?
Mm-hmm. So the state of Montana, all providers are vertically integrated. There is no horizontal integration here. You have to produce everything that you sell in-house, which includes your concentrates, your edibles, and your flour, and any other derivatives of any of those. Those products are all sent to a third-party lab. We have, I believe, 4 analytical laboratories in the state that are licensed to test medical marijuana products at this time. And so essentially that makes every marijuana provider their own extraction expert, their own edibles expert. They have to have all of these abilities in-house to produce these things. And until recently, patients had to identify a provider that they would go with. Their card was tethered to that provider. But as of June 2nd, any card holder can shop at any provider now. So,
and that's good. The patient should be allowed to do that, in my opinion,
Yes. I mean, it opens up the access. They're able to get products that they weren't previously able to get. I myself as a provider, I can't produce every type of flower. I can't grow every strain. I can't produce every type of edible. I can't produce every type of concentrate. And I want there to be that open market ability that allows the patients to have the broadest level of access that they can possibly get. And Untethering really did that last month.
Wow, that is so good. So, have you seen a difference in the patients that they've been coming in, or what's the environment in the patient body? Are they excited about this change?
I believe so. It's been exciting for everyone, and they've really embraced the different product availability, the different product quality. They've been able to get different strains that they've never had before or don't have access to. So I think everybody's really happy about this change.
Sure.
I haven't heard any bad comments yet about the change of the untethering. And I think honestly, it's going to really do a market correction for the industry here in Montana and kind of put some of the maybe if there's some bad actors out there, they might put those guys out of business. So,
well, fingers crossed. I mean, I think that's what we all want to happen,
Yeah.
So let's talk about the baby. Let's talk about the real, provider to the patients, the medicine that's coming in the door, and what door is it coming in? What is your organization?
We are called Ember. So the dispensary got its name from that fire in Afghanistan. The embers of that fire started this idea, started this company, and really drove my initiative this entire time. So we thought Ember was a fitting name for the organization. We didn't want to, call ourselves, one of these crazy
Pot of Montana.
Yeah, Pot Montana. Or
there you go.
One of these things. We wanted to be discreet, professional, and
Absolutely.
respectful to the community that we're in. We didn't want to be putting out green pot leaves on all of our windows and putting that vibe out there. We wanted it to be a place where people could come for medicine. Bright, clean, airy, friendly. Whereas a lot of the feedback that we get from patients is that some of the places are not that way, and they really enjoy coming into our shop for that reason.
That is so good.
I've got Dad working behind the counter now. He's working for me at the store, and I put him to work. So
what's he thinking about it? Is he enjoying his interactions with the patients? And those are some of his brothers and sisters, I'm sure, that are coming in there too in the veteran community.
Absolutely, we do have a large number of veterans that come and see us. We offer a full-time veteran discount. We take care of our veterans very well. We help raise cash for their doctor visits so that they can get their recommendations. We help if they need assistance with medicine, we'll help them with that. It's on a case-by-case basis, and we help everybody out that we can to the best of our ability. But really, our focus has been the veteran community. And so we, as a family operation, our tip jar, that entire tip jar that's there it's not for the quote unquote budtender behind the counter. It's for the veterans in our community and the veterans that come into our shop. So we try to put all of that forth to them versus cashing it out and divvying it up amongst us or whoever's working that day. So we really try to walk the walk and because we talk the talk. So we want to help the veteran community as much as possible here in Montana. And we have a huge veteran community here. And I really want to stress that we're here for them.
Well, so true. And I can't say thank you enough, Justin. We're joined here today on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast by Justin Turcotte. And Justin is the owner of Ember in Montana. Justin, the amount of veterans in the community, I think, is a big deal because I've seen in just with my friends. I've got a lot of friends that have moved out that direction, but they go there because it's a way to escape. And when you said there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot in the community, man, I can just imagine that there's a whole lot of veterans out there in Montana.
Yep. It's a beautiful place for them. There's less people. It's just a good way to get out into nature, and there's that outdoor therapy, right? Like you can just go out and hike or camp or spend some time with your family, and you don't have to worry about the hustle and bustle of everyday life in a larger city or some of those areas of the country that might be causing them a little bit more stress. So I believe that's
so
why
true.
a lot of guys move.
Absolutely, man. So tell us about the grow operation. How did you find a facility, one, and then two, what's the setup? What is it like to grow medical cannabis in Montana?
Well, our grow facility was a very serendipitous find. I had been looking at this facility from afar. I was in Afghanistan looking at commercial real estate listings, and this facility had come on the market and then disappeared. But from day one, I knew exactly what it had been. Someone had set up an indoor grow, and it must have gone out of business or what have you. But come to find out later, it was a black market operation that was busted.
Oh,
and
interesting.
So we fell in on it. We were able to actually find. We met the owners, just happenstance, and I was like, I know exactly the building you're talking about. I wanted to buy it. And they were like, well, would you like to come look at it? And I said, yes, let's go take a look. And so we went up and looked at it, and it had some old technology, single-ended vented lights, and no AC, no environmental controls to speak of. So we've really been, for the last 2 years, we've been, bootstrapping this entire facility bit by bit, replacing old tech with new tech as could be afforded, and with a very minimal, startup fund, basically just having to pay for operations, because operations and light bulbs, we were able to get the place up and running and off the ground, and we were able to start growing pretty much as soon as we leased the building.
That is so phenomenal.
Yeah, at the time, the licensing was a paper application with some fingerprints for a background check and $50.
Oh, wow.
It was fast and easy. We got up and running, and then as regulations changed, things have definitely evolved on the licensing side there, become more stringent. But up here in Montana, AC wasn't really needed. The quality of our product could have probably been higher than it was at the beginning. But honestly, at the time, we were still growing. Some of our strains were hitting 30% consistently.
Holy
on the
cow.
THC side of the house. And we were using the cold air during the winter to cool the facility down. And without proper CO2 supplementation even, we were still growing large amounts of product and able to keep all of our patients happy at the same time.
That is so beautiful. So beautiful. So are you using HPS? What are you guys using for the lighting system in it?
So one of the rooms we completely converted to LED lights.
Okay.
And they are really showing that they can outperform the HPS and the metal halide lights.
Really? All right.
Yeah. We just harvested one of our first harvests out of that room, and everything looked amazing. And we're about to put more. We added 4 more lights to that room and 2 additional trays. And now we just filled that room again, and we're about to crank it up into flower mode here soon. We've totally updated all of the environmentals there. We can control everything now perfectly. We can get the VPD just right, and we really think this is going to be our best grow yet. Our other flower room that we're